Welcome back, csc102, to part 2 of our Google Sheets version of Ex02 Temps. I just put Ex2 up here, but it's Ex02. It doesn't really matter that much, but I think I call it Ex02 in coursework. Now, we're going to make a chart from here, so what I'm going to do is highlight the data that I want. And what I can do, even though I would like to have the days of the week on here, it doesn't make it very easy to put both the days of the week and the dates in the bottom axis. So what we're going to do is we're just going to highlight these for now. These B2, I'm starting at B2 where it has date and dragging all the way down to D12 to the last corner here. So it's basically these three columns starting below temps. So I'm highlighting those, and that's what I'm going to make my chart from. And in Google Sheets, if you go over to the chart icon, you could insert chart. Now when you first do it, it might show up like a column chart first. And there it is. If it is a column chart, now I was working on this earlier, so it's defaulting to line chart, but it might be a column chart or something. It might look like this initially or something, or combo or something when you start. But what you're going to want from this setup, that this chart editor comes up here, is you're not going to want a combo. You're going to want to use a line chart, and there should be a drop down for a line chart in here. And here's line. So I'll use a line chart right now. Now, right off the bat in setup, just go down here and click on aggregate. That'll put all the dates in here. It'll put everything on the same chart. So make sure that you check aggregate when you use a line chart. So line chart and then aggregate on the x-axis. And notice it's putting a title of date down here. Now, it would be nice if we had the days of the week, but we'll deal with that later. Now, all that we have to do now is just kind of format it nicely. I'm going to go to Customize, and under Chart Style, we're going to change the background color. I'll just use like a really light salmon color, and I could go to custom. I could choose this first, and then I could go to custom because I think it'll kind of go off of that color, and I'll just make it lighter, and I'll hit OK. So there's a nice kind of peach color for a background, and if I want to put a border on it, unfortunately they don't change the thickness, so I'm just going to put a dark blue border on it. It's kind of hard to see. It's there, so that's our border on there right now. Now what I'm going to do next, chart titles down here. Now actually maybe I'll go to the chart title, and it says high and low, and what you can do is just put 10-day and put like Warren, New Jersey, high and low temps. You could just kind of edit what they have there, and you could leave it in the default color. You could even make it bold. You could center it if you want. It doesn't look bad the way it is there. They have different fonts you could put in. You could put them in a wide font. And like I said, you could change the color, or the gray color looks okay. And you could center it down here if you wanted to center that. They could center it down here and put that in the middle. I guess that looks okay. Now for these things, I'm going to click on a line. Now if you click, it'll click the box, but then click again to try and click on the line. So it's highlighted. And you'll see kind of like a little border around it. Now you won't see these little, if you hover, you'll see these little kind of circles. We want those circles to show up. So if you go down here, it says point size. It says circle, but just change it to circle again, and then they'll show up in 10 pixels. I don't know why it says circle and then they show up, but they're going to show up in color. And actually, I want the line color to change. So make sure you go down here to color. I want the top one, because it's the highs, I want that to be a nice red. And then when I go down to this one, down here, when I click on this line, and you can see there's almost like a little blue highlight around it. When I click on this line, I want to change that one to be blue. And then when I go down here to circle, where it has these little kind of point size things, it has point shape circle. If I just choose it again, it puts these little circles here. So they look pretty good. And I'm going to close up series here. And what I want to do next is I want my data label. So this might be under series. Like I said, this is the first time doing it. Oh, it is under series. So you can stay under series. And I'm going to check data labels. Now I'm on this one right now. So I'm clicked on this one. It's hard to see, but there's a little highlight there. I'm going to click on data labels. Now I don't want my data labels above the line. I want them below. So if I scroll down here, they have position. Here's auto position. If I can go below, and that's where I want those data labels. And if I want to make them bold to stand out a little bit, I could do that. And then I could click on this line, and you can see it's highlighted a little bit. And then I'll do the same thing. I'll scroll down here, check on data labels, and they're naturally going by default above. If they weren't, you could go under auto and make sure they're above. And I'm also going to make them bold. They have a little B button down here. So again, this is all under series. When I clicked on these things, these were all under this little series drop down. So that's where I was able to change the color using this. I was able to make the circle show up by choosing circle here. And then when I'd click on the next line, I did the same thing. So that's the way that should look. And there's probably nothing else we need to do right now. This date down here, you can leave that here or you could remove it. It doesn't let you put the days of the week there, at least without a lot of trouble. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to click on this. And if you have to open that thing up again, remember you could go to Edit Chart and then bring up Customize and Setup and all this kind of stuff down here. And we're not putting any vertical axis things on here. They're already set up based on the way we did it, so that's okay. And I could leave date down here. If you needed to change anything, you could go in here and, you know, make that bold or something, change the color or whatever. But I'm going to click off of here, and then if you click on here and kind of grab right on the edge, it's kind of sometimes hard to get there. There, I'm kind of on the edge. I'm going to move that over here, and that's a decent size. Now, this last part, I guess this is we're almost done. The last part is kind of optional, so this is a little bit of a pain at the end, but I like the idea of having the days of the week show up above here, except there's no easy way to put them on there. So I figured out one way to do that, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to highlight Monday through Wednesday. And if you're on Windows, do Control-C. If you're on Mac, do Command-C. And for some reason it puts a dotted line on there and that doesn't go away, but we could turn that off. But anyway, I copied that and I'm going to insert a text box. And the way to do it in Google Sheets is to go to Insert and Drawing. They don't have an Insert text box. They just have a drawing place in here. And they have a text box in here. And then you could draw a text box, and I'm going to draw it over to like maybe 6 inches or something like that. And it'll be maybe like a 1/4 inch high. And I'm going to paste. Control V, or if I'm on a Mac, Command V. Now, it's going to paste what I just copied. Now, what I'm going to do is go here, double click here, and backspace, and then I'm going to count 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you got it wrong, you could just backspace and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to backspace, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'll just repeat that. Backspace, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'll click here, I'll backspace, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the same thing until I get them all up there. Backspace, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, backspace, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if the one doesn't fit, you can make this longer. So I'll backspace and I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'll stretch this out. I'll grab that middle control handle there and just drag this out a little bit so Wednesday goes up there, and that's what I want. And don't worry if it's too big or too small. Now, what I'll also do is I'll go in here. You could highlight in here and highlight all this stuff. And I'm going to make it bold. Now, you might not see bold here, but if you go to these little dots, I can make it bold. And I'll make it like an orange color so it doesn't stand out that much. I'll just do something like that. And again, if it didn't stretch it out enough, I'll just do that. And then I'll hit Save and Close. Now, it looks weird, and here's actually the box, but if you grab on the top handle, I'll squash it down, and I'll move this over here, right on top of here, and then if you grab a corner, you can just kind of resize it. Actually, that wasn't too bad. I thought it would be harder. That's not too bad. But the only problem is if you resize your chart, if you resize your chart a little bit and make it smaller, everything kind of adjusts, but that doesn't. But that way, if you had to adjust that, you could just move that up here and then just resize that a little bit more, and then it looks nice. And that way you still get to put your days of the week on there, because if people look at the highs and lows, they like to see the days of the week. So, and now I don't even know if I need date down here, but I could leave that there. But that looks pretty good, and I think that's all we had to do. Let's just look at our original, and I think that looks pretty close to what we had for my original sample. So that wasn't too bad. So that's Ex02 Temps. And that's using Google Sheets. Now remember, when you're done, you don't have to save. All you have to do is share, and then just get a shareable link. And you're going to copy this link, and you're going to go back to My Warren, and you're going to go to Coursework, and you're going to go down to Unit 8, the same one we did for the EX01, and you're going to find EX02. And if you're doing Google Docs, all that you have to do is do Add Comment. Click on the link, insert link, and paste the link here. You don't have to do anything with text to display. You could leave it the way it is. But make sure that you target a new window so that it will open up in a separate tab, and hit OK. And that's all you have to do. Now, I know this is going to be an upload, and again, if it asks you to, if it says you must upload a file, just ignore that. I will see your link, even if it closes out, although I've been trying to put these at the end of the semester so that doesn't happen. But even if it closed out or for whatever reason, I'll see that and I'll change it and I'll make sure you get credit on that. So whether you want to do it with Excel or whether you want to do the Google Docs version or the Google Sheets version, that way when I see it, I'll click on it here and I'll check it out and I'll go, wow, that looks awesome. Hopefully I'll see, there it is. It just took a while to kind of generate it. But anyway, that's all you have to do for Ex02. So anyway, that's the Google Sheets version. So that's part 2 of Ex02 Temps.